What to do when you wake up with very busy mind in the morning and it also stops you being able to fall asleep again until the time that you are supposed to be waking up. So in today's video, we're really going to look at this dynamic where you are waking up earlier than you're supposed to and your mind actually kicks into thinking mode. Whether or not that's thinking about the past or thinking about the future or problem solving or any of those kind of things that our mind is very capable of doing early in the morning. And this is something that I experienced as well when I struggled with insomnia. But in this particular case, we're going to talk about how to approach it in a different way and how to look at what are the things that you need to put in place in order to be able to overcome this issue. So if you've got long-term insomnia or sleep problems, the first thing is to really establish the root cause of the problem. So overthinking for one person can be quite different to another. So again, it's important not to jump into those conclusions, but really looking at where you are at and what are the things that are showing up. So before we jump into the content of the video, if you're a returning member of my community, then thank you so much for continuous support. If you are new and you haven't yet, then hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell as well so I can keep you up to date when I post new videos. And of course, once you watch the video and you have liked the content of the video, hit that like button below as well. And if you don't know who I am, then let me just quickly introduce myself. So my name is Beatrix Schmidt. I'm a sleep coach, a professional speaker, and the creator of Sleep Skills for Life program, which is my way of helping people like you to overcome long-term insomnia and sleep problems. Now that we covered that, before we actually go into my answer, overthinking is something that I see in my practice quite a bit. And it's quite a common issue that is a root cause of some of these sleep problems you might be experiencing. I certainly experienced it as well when I struggled with my insomnia. So when it comes to overthinking, what's really important to start looking at is what actually causes you to overthink even more. So it's very normal for us to think. That's what our mind and our brain is designed to do. But when it reaches a too high intensity, or that you're not able to actually turn it off and switch it off, that's when it really becomes a problem, and often that's when it starts to actually impact your sleep as well. So really bear in mind where you are at and what kind of thoughts you might be having early in the morning, and that will start helping you to find the appropriate way to really overcome the issue. Not every overthinking is exactly the same. So this is where it's really important to become self-aware about what your dynamics are and how in different ways affect your sleep. It might not just be the morning, it might be affecting you in different areas of your sleep as well. So let's go into my answer to this client who referred to this morning overthinking as chipmunk in a hamster wheel, which is actually probably a really accurate way of describing it. But I know that it's not quite as funny when it happens and it stops you being able to fall asleep or wake you up too early in the morning. So let's talk about it in a bit more details. So number one, remember, your body got used to waking up at that time. So that shows us how much in rhythm your body got. So that's not a bad thing. It just doesn't serve you right now. So that's the difference, okay? So when that happens, it either shows us that simply your body is in rhythm and it hasn't quite fully relaxed into a new rhythm, meaning you can stay in bed till 7 instead of 6:30 or whatever that is, whatever the new time frame is. So that's one. Sometimes it can take 3, 4, 5 days to actually really sort of settle into something new. And if you have the weekdays one and the weekend different, then it's harder for the body to get into a new rhythm naturally, because you're only spending, let's say, two days at the weekend in the later time. So that's one. The second one is, normally what this shows us is when you're waking up work days, your mind is used to switching to work straight away or very short period of time. Now, this is exactly what it's doing, just the topic is different. So if you haven't yet got to, I don't know exactly where you're at in the program, but if you haven't yet got to the morning routine, then it might be worth scheduling that next, because that's the kind of more prominent problem at the moment, is because I talk about easing into the day. Now, if your mind has gotten used to switching into work mode, now work mode for you can be sorting out the mortgage. That's still problem solving, admin tasks, whatever. That can still represent work mode. If your mind is used to turning into work mode very quickly after waking up, then what it's doing is normal. You just don't like it anymore, because it's not what it's supposed to do in your eyes, okay? So from the mind perspective, waking up at that time is normal because that's what you've done for the work. Going into work mode is normal because that's what you've done. But obviously it's not quite working for the new version of the couple of days or weeks or whatever. So that often shows us that instead of easing into the day, you're switching into work mode. Easing into the day means that you need to create a bit of space between acting on work stuff or personal stuff and really just looking after you as a human being. Now, what do I mean by that? If you open your eyes, the first thought generally is about, naturally, it's about, I wonder what time it is, meaning, am I close to my alarm or not, or whatever. So that's generally the first thought we have in the morning, some versions of it, especially on the days when your rhythm wakes you up, but you're not due to be waking up, because that's just what your body does. So easing into the day means that we actually use the same principle that I mentioned earlier, is it's okay that I've woken up this time because I'm in rhythm. So that's actually a good thing, not a bad thing. But often what follows is your mind goes into problem solving or whatever that kind of theme is. So for you, it could be problem solving. For you, it could be to-do lists. For you, it could be, if it's the mortgage thing, what else do I have to submit? Or I don't know, what carpet we're going to buy, or I don't know, whatever the thought is, whatever the theme is. If the thought comes up of, oh, this is the thought in my head, again, it's okay first. Everything always okay. It's simply your mind is showing what's inside. Most of the time it means you carried it into bed with you and you didn't really properly separate your daytime the night before. So we got to look at your evening routine. But when you wake up, it's okay that I have this thought. So don't get annoyed, frustrated, disappointed, or too happy. So if you're happy about the move, it can be happiness, doesn't have to be negative. It's okay that I'm feeling this or I'm thinking this, but until, and this is where we're going to have to use an alarm, until my alarm goes off for my weekend, let's say, it is my time to rest and relax, and that's it. What I see when you don't set an alarm is your mind doesn't know how far you are, and it doesn't know what you're intended to do. So for the next couple of weeks, it's okay if you don't want to set your alarm for early, but set your alarm for what sort of times you've been waking up and maybe add 15 or 20 minutes on top of it. So let's say if now you're waking up more like 7 or 7:15, then set an alarm for 7:30, because when you manually set the alarm, which should be done the night before manually, not automatically, your brain will capture the image, file it away, and understand what the intention is. The intention is, up until that time, my time is to rest and relax. I think that is missing. So even though you're waking up out of rhythm, your mind has not benchmarked until your alarm, because it doesn't know what the intention is. So that's one. Self-soothing, it's okay, is the second one. And the other thing we need to look at is your evening routine, because that shows that you probably haven't let it go. Again, not switch off, but let it go the night before. So these can come in different versions. I'm not sure what the version is going to be, but we really need to work on your evening routine, because it clearly shows us that there is no separation. And as soon as you open your eyes, you're going into some sort of work mode. That means you haven't really established that separation between your nighttime and your daytime yet. It's way better, but it's not quite clear. Now that we covered that, I want to find out which part of this video did you find the most useful. So if you've got a question or you want to share with me which part you resonated with the most, then pop a little comment below and let me know which part was most useful. Obviously, every one of you will be very different. You will have a different dynamic when it comes to overthinking, but I would really love to find out which part resonated the most, so I can continue creating content in those areas where you actually really want to learn more about this big sort of issue of insomnia and sleep problems. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button below, hit that little bell so I can let you know when I post new videos. And if you like the video, then obviously I would invite you to hit that little like button below as well, so I can continue posting these kind of videos and I know what you're interested in. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.